Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Dean's video newsletter. Welcome to 2017. I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday, that with your friends, your loved ones, or if you were traveling, that it was a relaxing time for you, and that you're ready to come back and be fully re-engaged. There's lots happening in the course of this year. I think the top of the list is the We Speak survey. So this is a follow-up to the survey that was done several years ago of faculty as well as staff. And this was done university-wide, really asking questions about the culture, the milieu, where we are as a university, where do we need to be focusing our efforts in terms of engagement. And I think it would be fair to say there was an awful lot of activity that came from that. And it's time to ask the question again, where do we stand as a university? Have we achieved anything on those metrics that we worked so hard on over time? So this survey is going to be coming out from January 24th through to the 13th of February. I really do strongly urge that you complete the survey. It provides not only myself, but the university, a really solid index of where we are as a school and as a university. It tells us about our culture, tells us about the things that we need to be focusing on. We really do want this to be an environment where people see themselves as having an entire career. Well, this is a checkup for that. So if there's anything that you do in the course of getting ready for Valentine's Day on the 14th, it would be get this survey completed. We really do value the data that comes from it. Every year we have our awards of excellence. And I simply ask that you go on to the Schulich website, look at the linkage there for nominations coming forward. You have no idea how important these are to the individuals who receive them until you actually speak to the individuals who have received them. This is an opportunity for you to recognize your peers, or you recognize activities that have been done by individuals or as a group, and for us as a school to celebrate them. And as I say, it's one of my favorite evenings in the course of the entire year is to preside over that and watch all the people that are being recognized for their achievements. I think it would be remiss if I didn't point out that this is the 150th anniversary of Canada. I think we all know that. There's so many things that are going on, from free passes to the national parks to all sorts of events that are being hosted across the country for that. Well, it's also a time when we're starting to reflect on the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And those recommendations are actually calls to action. They are a series of items that have been carefully thought out that talk about the Indigenous experience in this country and what we as a country need to do to course correct in a major way. As a university, we've adopted a strategic plan which will be enacted over the course of this year and will lead to fundamental changes that will be sustainable over time. So it talks about accessibility, it talks about ensuring that we are culturally aware. Well, take that one step further. Within all of that, there are very, very specific recommendations that talk about healthcare provision, right? And I would recommend to any of you, if you want to have a look at the history of how did we as a society get to a healthcare system where we have a significant proportion of our population who receive different healthcare through a different mechanism. There are lots of literatures out there to look at, and I would suggest having a look and following it through. We need to correct this, and it begins here. It begins with us as a school. As the 17 schools across this country, we are responsible for training the next generation of healthcare providers that are physicians. So we have a responsibility. We're going to spend a great deal of time this year discussing that. You might say, well, great, here we're going to have another conversation around it. Well, no. We have a baseline level of knowledge that needs to be attained. Right? I would challenge most individuals that if I were to ask you, how did we ever get to the position where we have a healthcare act that sees funding for Indigenous populations as a separate funding line from that which goes into the provinces, and how is that translated into deliveries of healthcare? I don't think we'd be able to answer that. But we need to understand it. We need to understand that part of our history of Canada that really is the foundation for many of the healthcare issues we're dealing with now. So we're going to spend time exploring that. We're going to spend time exploring what does it mean to be an Indigenous population with regards to very, very specific healthcare deliverables. And they may differ, even if you're 20 kilometers apart, as two First Nations, different histories, different cultures. So those themes and Aboriginal health will be one of the major areas that we're going to be focusing on in the course of this year. I do want to turn to another item, and that's the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We will be hosting it here in London in 2018. Many of you will know, but some of you may not, this in fact is the home of the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame. It's located here in London. It's a wonderful, wonderful tribute to all of the tremendous pioneers in health research that we as Canadians have been part of over the course of our history. So to become an inductee into this Hall of Fame is truly one of the great achievements in a career, and it truly is a great recognition by your peers of just how much you have helped to change in a variety of different aspects of the healthcare environment. This process of getting ready for the induction ceremony begins this year. We're going to be spending an awful lot of time looking not only for volunteers, but working within to plan the event. It's a great celebration, so I look forward to telling you more about that as we move forward. On the very last piece with regards to that, it would also be wonderful if we had inductees that were from London or who had been trained here at Schulich. So please be thinking about that. Go onto the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame website. I would really look forward to bringing forward some of those nominations for success in 2018 with us. So, lots of things happening in the course of this year. I've touched base on just a few of them. It's a year of tremendous opportunities for us, many of which you'll be hearing about in the next couple of months, so I look forward to talking to you again. So in the meantime, as I said earlier, welcome back. I hope you've all had a wonderful break, and we'll see you again in about a month.